Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Once again, it is time for the Gear Talk with Jason, and today I want to talk to you guys just a little bit about HCG, or human chorionic gonadotrophin. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions sent to me lately, and I'm going to let you guys know I'm not going to be giving you guys advice on your cycles and your stacks and your doses and stuff. If you send me private messages on that, I'm just not going to do that. You guys can research that yourself. And as I said yesterday, in all honesty, the state of the black market is so bad that I don't know what to tell you guys to take for doses, because your test 400 might have no test in it, it might have 50 milligrams in it, it might have 100 milligrams in it, but the odds are that it's actually test 400 almost non-existent. So how do I tell you how to dose that? But people are asking me a lot about HCG, its roles, its uses. Now obviously one of the common uses is as part of your post-cycle therapy, but I don't believe in post-cycle therapy, I don't believe in coming off. I personally feel the risk to rewards is higher if you just stay on like a TRT dose after you finish a blast at any given time and you just cruise. You have less side effects, you're more likely to keep your gains, you're not going to suffer depression and all these other problems that come with coming off, and it's actually cheaper. To run a TRT dose of testosterone is generally cheaper than an expensive PCT is. Now, as far as shutdown goes, people always talk about the shutdown of that, and keep in mind you're all going to get shut down eventually, and plenty of guys, even who cycle and do PCT, get shut down after 2 or 3 cycles. So, in my opinion, the difference is pretty minimal between the two, and it also begs the question of, if you're overly worried about shutdown in the long term, that you probably shouldn't be using steroids anyways. Now, that also brings us to the point of what is the real role of HCG. The best role of HCG is for people who are permanently shut down, either for natural reasons, which is the majority of people out there, or from using anabolic steroids and suppressing their natural production in the long term. HCG is useful for basically getting your sperm count up. Now the best way to go about this, and a lot of people don't realize this, they think it's something they can do in the short term, and you can't. Generally, you need to run it for about 3 months straight in order to get the quality of your sperm, not just the sperm count, but the sperm quality up enough to make sure that you're able to impregnate your wife or your girlfriend or whoever you're trying to get pregnant here. So generally what you want to do for something like that, and again, it's quite expensive, is that you're probably going to want around 2,500 units of HCG every other day for 3 months straight. And then at about the 3-month point, you should really try to start getting your wife pregnant if that's your goal. And so you'll also want to time all of her cycle and her ovulations and everything. And basically you just stay on the HCG and do this until she's pregnant. And then you come back off and go back on your gear or whatever you're doing. Now you can, when you're doing an HCG protocol stacked with your AIs and other stuff to control the estrogen it produces also, because it will boost your estrogen up as much as your testosterone in many cases. You're not going to need to be on any gear. Now for people who blast and cruise, they can stay on, but you don't necessarily need to be on, because your natural production is going to be jacked way up. It's going to be up at the top of the natural range, probably higher than a conservative TRT dose of testosterone is going to give you, just from the HCG and the AIs and stuff in there. And that also kind of raises the other question people ask of, hey, should I use HCG during my cycle? I get that question a lot. And the answer is no. It's not going to keep you from getting shut down. Just because it's artificially boosting your natural production doesn't mean you aren't still being suppressed, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to continue to be suppressed when you come off. And a lot of guys are doing that to help with testicular atrophy, which is a side effect I would say about 1 in 4 people get. But for many, that's reversible with a simple SERM, like Nolvadex. 20 milligrams of Nolvadex a day will often reverse that. And for those who don't, HCG might be a route, or they could just live with it. Now, as far as people thinking they're getting extra gains out of it, you might be, but if you think about it, you're probably spending, to do enough HCG to do that, you're probably spending $30 or $40 a week. Whereas in enough testosterone to replace the amount you're losing naturally just to get your total level up would actually be a tiny fraction of that. So you're actually losing a lot of money to do that, and you're enduring other side effects, because you have to remember that HCG is going to boost your estrogen levels up also. So you're also having to take stuff to combat the extra estrogen, So you're having to put a lot more drugs into your body, you're having more potential side effects, and it's costing you a lot more money just to get a little tiny bit of extra testosterone into your body that 50 or 100 milligrams a week would do. So that's not really a good use of HCG, and again, it's not going to keep you from getting shut down while you're on it. So my advice is, I guess if you're going to come off the gear and you actually want to come off, some HCG in your protocol could be a good way to help transition back to being natural, but just keep in mind you're not going to keep all of your gains if you come off. And no matter how good your PCT is or anything else, if you are anywhere near your natural limit, unless you started using when you were 140 pounds and tiny, you're not going to keep the gains that you make off of it forever if you come off. You are going to lose them over time. Alright guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you next time.